Texas is pretty good. Hi everyone, I'm Kit, and this weekend, my wife and I are taking our hammocks out to Salamonie Lake State Recreation Area and backpacking on the Bloodroot Trail. Since Friday, the day that we're heading out, is expected to be quite hot and very high UV index, we're planning on hiking out along the lakeside of the trail loop, which will take us about 5.5 miles to our reserved campsite. Then we're spending Saturday just relaxing and Sunday hiking back out in order to get home in time for a birthday dinner for me because I'm turning 36 this weekend. So, I'm really looking forward to this trip, both to get some good time with my wife, to push my physical limits a little harder since I did so well our first time and take a longer trail than I've ever done before, and to enjoy a really beautiful day on the lakeside. That's it for now though, because I have to finish packing. All right, we are here at the trailhead for the Bloodroot Trail. It is currently about 80 degrees and climbing, so we are ready to get hiking. It's noon now, and we'll see how long it takes us to get all the way to camp. Half a mile in, my feet and calves are being a little bit slow to wake up this time, but we're doing all right. There's a beautiful breeze you can probably hear. And while I did forget my sun hat, patches of shade and sunscreen directly on my scalp are hopefully going to carry me all the way to camp. If not, I've got fabric I can tie around my head. I'm just trying to enjoy the wind. We are about 1 mile into the hike and taking a brief break here before crossing State Highway 105 into the Lost Bridge East section of the recreation area. And it is very hot and the sunny sections are a little punishingly sunny. But so far, so good. And we're making pretty decent time so far. So I have hopes that it won't be too rough of a stop.
They've adapted to the climate and soils of the area. Many pollinators and their larvae require specific native species and host plants for food, shelter, and breeding sites.
Second highway crossing is just ahead. And then we're really into the woods, I think, hopefully. It really is. Our first glimpse of the lake up ahead. We are 2.5 miles in, and here is where I begin to actually struggle a little bit. But we found a good spot to take a sit break and eat more snacks, which always helps a little. But Creature says I can't just camp here in the leaves, so I guess I'm gonna have to get moving a little further. Creature would like to get another quarter or half mile before stopping for lunch, and I would like to find a place where I could filter some water before we stop for lunch, ideally. So in a minute here, we're gonna pick back up and mosey down the trail just a little bit. first use of the first aid kits is solely from creatures scratching off a scab by accident. But
Womp womp.
we want to have something like that cleaned and sealed away from dirt while we're in the woods. So we're going to take care of that. Ourselves a little bit on mileage, went all the way to 3 1/4 miles, but we found a great spot for lunch. Thank you for helping. We are definitely going to have to prioritize upgrading our water collection bags. I knew we'd need to, but I did not fully appreciate how annoying this would be. We have developed a system, and we are making good progress on water filtering now, actually. Right now, we're dividing labor this way. Tyler, you don't want to mess up and spill all the water.
Yeah, please don't.
Bottle's filled, but I still have some water left in this bag, so bottoms up. Actually tastes pretty good for creek water.
Cheers. Time to get our asses in gear. Gear on our asses.
Yeah. But we definitely have a ways to go. It is 4:15, and we have a little over 2.5 miles to camp, at least in theory. Official trail marker says 2 miles to campsite 6. It's gorgeous out here. I am real tired, so we're taking a little extended sit break. Took my pack off at campsite 4. Which is a lovely little campsite. Just to try to catch my wind for the last little push. So we made it to camp. I mean, I definitely feel better with the backpack off my back, but I do not feel quite as chipper as I did on our last trip. I misunderstood somehow along the hike exactly where the campsite was going to be, so I had a whole little dark night of the soul when we realized we had to go around yet another bite of trail and go further, and literally within a few steps of being able to see the campsite sign, we both stopped and were like, are we lost? Do we need to check the map? Is everything okay? And I insisted. I wanted to take a couple steps forward to where I could sit on a blowdown tree before I opened up the app. And in those couple steps, I saw the campsite sign. So we're very happy to be here, but as rough as it was, I'm actually super impressed with us. We did this in 5.5 hours. Which is a little shorter time than my rough estimate, and definitely better than I was worrying it would be about halfway down the trail. So we are both gonna kind of get our feet under us a little bit before we start setting up camp. So I skipped the first part of setup because one, the weather started looking a little more urgent than my forecast was predicting, so we decided to get tarps up ASAP so we have dry spaces, and mine is up and very palatial because even if it's gonna rain, I have 12 by 12 foot of tarp, so I can pitch it pretty high and open and still get lots of rain coverage. But also, in our scouting around for the best trees, because we did still want to make good choices even if we were trying to rush a little bit, we found basically an entire second campsite further out on the point from the first picnic table we'd sat down at, that's still part of campsite 6. So we moved down here to set up. We are right on the point. Gorgeous trees. And Creature is hanging on the biggest tree in the whole site, because why have 15 feet of strap if you can't take advantage of it? So this is going to be an absolutely gorgeous campsite, and I am really looking forward to our day here tomorrow, and hoping that when the rain hits, it won't be too rough. It shouldn't be. It really, really shouldn't be, but we'll see. Times. I know we're as prepared as we can be for something like this, but it makes me so anxious. Oh, that looks so pretty. I'm so fucking glad the storm's over. There's a rainbow! Oh, look, there's a rainbow. We did it. It's a very pretty scene. We survived. The only casualties, a tiny bit of dampness on Creature's hammock, and I lost a stake when the wind ripped up a corner of my tarp. It flung it somewhere, so we'll have to look for it. Starting in the next half hour or so. So I am going to go ahead and make dinner under my newly re-torched up truck. Hopefully that will go fine. It is almost 10 p.m. I am utterly exhausted, but I'm also just a little bit overheated from last-minute camp chores and a little bit headachy, so I'm going to take some pain meds, let myself cool down just a little, not too much, read, then get into my woolies and hopefully sleep really fucking well. Good night, Creature. I love you. Starting with coffee. Good morning. I definitely let myself sleep in some, which was very needed. But it is peaceful and gorgeous out here with just nature noises and the intermittent sounds of people boating on the lake. I'm still tired a little, but we are going to take it real easy today. I mostly just want to enjoy the gorgeous views at this campsite, tweak my hammock hang a little so that it's more ideal for tomorrow night, because I was definitely in a rush when I put it up last night. And yeah, I don't know. Have a better day than yesterday. I have a lot of satisfaction about getting through everything yesterday, but it was not exactly the fun day that I was hoping. So we scrambled down the bank. It's very steep. Not necessarily recommended, but it would have been a much longer hike to any clearer water collection sources, because the little tiny stream crossings closest to our camp are mostly dry. So we are doing water collection for the day, and hopefully we'll just have to do this the once, because that was a little bit of a scramble. Beautiful day to filter some water. Gorgeous Salamonie. Brought water up, did some hygiene breaks. I adjusted my hammock hang to try to make it a little more comfortable. And now I need a break, so gonna just enjoy the breeze for a little while. I would normally consider a day like today quite windy. We're having about 20-mile-an-hour winds with gusts up to 35. But after last night, where we were getting gusts at least 60, this still feels pretty cold. Creature is preparing for us to have a fire tonight with her very favorite toy, a folding saw. It's just such a stunningly beautiful space. Some pretty low lows with some pretty high highs too. Pretty good. It is about 6:15, and rather than get caught out super late like we did yesterday, we're gonna go ahead and do a slightly early dinner tonight. It's a beautiful evening. And then we'll have our fire. Tonight's dinner is Mexican beans and rice. And we're going to need 10 ounces of water. It was so good and I was so hungry I forgot to film until now. So after cooking dinner and washing water, added up with what we drank throughout the day, we decided to come down and fill up, since we still have about an hour left of light, fill up and filter before bed rather than in the morning. And while it is an extra chore, I'm kind of glad we did because it is stunningly beautiful down here in like golden hour light. Filled up all our empty bottles. Water quest only took us half an hour, so we're actually getting pretty fast at this. But the sun is heading towards the horizon rapidly, so I think it's time to start building a fire. What do you think, Creature?
Hell yeah.
Creature made fire. Beautiful darling. Best beloved. Sweetest creature. It's after 7:30. We wanted to get out earlier today, remember? I'm all packed up. Creature's working on it. But that's given me a minute to just enjoy the lake view. One last long moment before we have to hike on out of here and head out. We are finally all packed up and about to hit the trail. We're going to take just a little bit of loop different going around the back side of the campsites, so that hopefully we have just a little bit of a different view. But when we get to the lake walking section versus the field walking section, we're going to take the lake to have a last goodbye moment. I do feel chipper, but I know that's not going to last, and Creature is having a very slow start. But we are 1.6 miles on the trail, very close to where we can top off our water, and then I want to go a little ways past that before lunch, ideally. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we
Curious, and sure enough, some big branches down that weren't down on our way in. Yeah, that is a tree that just died. Stopping for a little lunch, which is probably just accidents, to be honest, but it's a beautiful little spot we found on Friday. It's the perfect distance from camp all the way out. So we have come across our first big navigational challenge of the whole trip, because it's a relatively easy trail, but that storm sure took out a monster-sized shaggy bark hickory. So we considered going over, but both of us would need a leg up, and that does not work out mathematically. And we considered bushwhacking, but the head end goes way far that way. And the root ball end, while much closer, is in some extremely thick underbrush that looks like it could be thorny. So, we are throwing our packs over and doing a wiggle. And thank you, Creature, for doing the first test.
Yep, go for it. Uh-huh. It was enough to admit my bust, which squishes, and not my hips, which do not. So you cannot turn, you just have to go through. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, your hip circumference is not bigger than my bust circumference, so I was pretty sure you could make it. It's just awkward.
My hip circumference is totally bigger. Ready to roll now? Okay. Bye-bye, big boy. was nice knowing you. You're going to be big fun for trail maintenance. Are we ready for the last mile?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's do this thing. Big extended grassland section here right at the end. So the field walking is somewhat endless on the return side of the Lost Bridge West part of the loop, but at least we've finally turned on an angle where we get patchy shade. So there's that. We've got to be so close. Actually, that's a roof. Downside, that was a local house. Upside, we are finally back to weaving into little patches of woodland. We did it! My car has never looked more beautiful. Okay, let's load up. So, we learned some things on this trip for sure. I definitely had a good time. I'm very glad we tried this. It's cool to know that I can do that much. But one of the things that I learned is that while I start really feeling it mile 2.5, I start being in genuine serious distress at mile 5. And this was 5.5 miles out and back, even with a slight route variation. Well, 5.5 miles out and 5.5 miles back, even coming back a slightly different way. So, yeah, now I know what limit to set for myself while I keep training up for the next couple months. And I know a really, really good campsite to go to, just if I want to make it a breezy, beautiful trip. Do the other trailhead next time. For now, though, I'm going to start this car up, enjoy the blessings of air conditioning, and hit up a drive-thru on the way back to the city.